All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. I got something kind of exciting today. I think it's exciting. We're going to talk about a little giveaway, I guess. It's kind of a giveaway. It's kind of a donation. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. But first, I want to preface this video by saying that my intentions for this channel are not to make any kind of profit off this channel. I have zero plans on ever monetizing this channel. This is a way for me to connect with you guys and just give my perspective on how I keep and breed my boas. It's going to be a pretty broad channel where we're going to cover a lot of different aspects of the hobby and breeding and keeping. And I'm just going to kind of give my perspective on how I do things. And to me, that's the most important part of this whole thing, is just getting that information out. This is not a means for me to profit or make money. And I don't have any problem with the people that do. I think that that's a fantastic thing that people are sharing their own experiences. And you know, everybody's trying to figure out a way to make it these days. So I don't have any problem. This is not me saying I'm better than anybody else. This is just me saying that for me personally, this is not a way that I need to make income through the hobby. So I have zero intentions on ever monetizing this channel. I think it's important to just get the information out. I was watching a podcast recently, and I had a conversation with a friend of mine about it this morning, and it just got me thinking, you know, there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of good information. There's a lot of bad information. This particular person is a very well-known, very established breeder in the hobby, and he had an opinion on something that I think works very well for him. But me personally, I think that he was not wrong in what he was saying, but it was a point on a very small part of a big picture. And I think that something that I take pride in is being able to paint the broader picture and show how that incorporates into other aspects of keeping and breeding boas. So I hope that made sense. It was a very specific point on a very broad subject, and I like to open that up so that people that are new to the hobby can better understand the big picture, so that they know how to apply these specific points that they're hearing and that I'm giving or anybody else is giving in the hobby. You know how to apply those specific principles to the broader picture. I think that's important, and I hope that I do a good job at relaying that information when I make these videos. As they go on, I'm already feeling a lot more comfortable about talking in front of the camera, and as they go on, hopefully they get better and better. But as far as monetization, that's not something I have planned for this channel. This is just me putting out my experiences, my perspectives, my opinions on keeping and breeding boa constrictors. So with that said, I do want to take a second and say that there are several people that have Patreons. One in particular I want to talk about today, Vin Russo, is a good friend of mine. He has a Patreon, and these videos that I'm doing are by no means meant to replace stuff like that. Vin Russo is a good friend of mine, like I said, and through his Patreon, you're able to join forums, discussion forums. You're able to set up video chats. You're able to have one-on-one interactions with a very accomplished, very knowledgeable person. And this videos like these, my videos are not made to replace something like that. I've been fortunate that I've had really good mentors, Vin being one of them, throughout my journey in the hobby, and many of them are not around anymore. But being able to have those mentors, you know, I've got hours and hours and hours of conversation with what I believe to be some of the top breeders in the locality side of things, at least, that I can reference different conversations. We talked about ocean currents, and I mean, the list goes on and on. I had some fantastic mentors and people to help get me started, and I'm trying to pass that along as best as I can, but nothing could replace the one-on-one mentorship or education that you can get from a video chat with somebody like Vin Russo, where he can look at your exact scenario. You know, say you bred some animals, you paired up some animals, and you're wondering about this, or the snake is exhibiting this, and you're able to contact him one-on-one and actually discuss your own personal situation and come up with a solution. So these videos are not meant to replace that. So I just wanted to give him a shout out. It's kind of a new direction that he's following. He's still producing animals, but I think he's leaning heavier towards the educational side of it now. I don't want to speak for him, but I think he's leaning more towards the educational side of it now versus the production side, since he did have a catastrophic fire at his facility last year. And that leads me into the second part. I've always tried to, I've attended Tinley in the fall many times, and I always try to bring an animal to donate for US ARK. And last year, or the year before, I donated some animals. Last year I sold animals on my Facebook page, and the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds went to Vin to help him recover after his fire. And that was very successful. And I guess I was just trying to come up with something for this year to do, to be able to donate and give back to the community. So I was kind of brainstorming, and I came up with this idea. I didn't really want to do a raffle. I don't want to raffle off a snake, because these are living animals, and in my personal opinion, I try to screen to a certain extent where my animals go. I care where my animals go. I don't necessarily care about the money. I care more that they're going to good, qualified homes. So I don't like the idea of just doing a random raffle or a random, you know, comment on the video and I'll send you, you know, an animal or something. I like to screen that a little better. But I was trying to brainstorm and come up with something that I could do to give back. And my thoughts are that for every subscriber that I get between now and Tinley, up to 2,000 subscribers, which I think would be absolute insanity. I don't think that's necessarily attainable, but anything up to 2,000 subscribers, for every subscriber I have between now and Tinley, I am going to donate that amount of money to US ARK. Whether it's, I might go on my Facebook page and say, here's some animals for sale, and 100% of those proceeds go to US ARK, go to donating at Tinley, or I donate the animals to the auction in Tinley. I haven't quite decided that yet, but either way, that monetary amount will go to US ARK as a donation. That'll be a way, like I said, I want to grow the channel, not so much for monetization, because I don't plan to monetize, but just to help get this information out there and help expose new keepers and people that are interested in learning about keeping and breeding boas to this, what I think is good information. So that's the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to donate to US ARK, and all you have to do is like and share these videos. Please share the videos. You know, the more you share the videos, the more you like the videos, the more you comment on the videos, the more YouTube puts it in that algorithm and shares it to other people, and the faster the channel will grow, and the faster this information will get out to everybody. So I think that's about it. I just wanted to share this with you guys and let you know that this is going to be a good way to raise money for the hobby and grow the channel and get this information out to people. And this, like I said, this is not a way to replace those other avenues that you can take. I think that's super valuable, and I would encourage everybody watching this to at least look into Vin's Patreon page. I'll put a link in the. I'll try to put a link. I'm not exactly sure how to do that, but I'll see if I can look up and put a link to his Patreon in this video. But Vin has been a very, very valuable resource for me. He's been a great mentor, and I really appreciate the time that he's taken with me, along with the others. There's several others that are very accomplished that have taken hours and hours and hours out of their life to help me on my journey, and this is just kind of my way to pay it forward, I guess. So we're gonna help US ARK, hopefully, and well, we're gonna help US ARK regardless. I think right now we're at like 120 subscribers, which is fantastic for how long this channel's been up. I think, I don't know, but hopefully we can grow that, and that'll cap off at 2,000. If we get over 2,000, I don't know, maybe I'll do something crazy. I can't even. I'm not really planning for that because I don't think it's attainable, but that's going to be what it is. Whatever the subscriber count is when Tinley comes around is what we're going to donate to US ARK. So hopefully you guys like the videos, comment on the videos. Let me know, comment on this video. Let me know if you think that's a good way to do things. I always document. When I gave the proceeds to Vin last year, I took photos of all the receipts and the PayPal exchanges, and I posted them online, and I sent them to the people that bought the animals. I'm very transparent. This is not a scam. I have no interest in scamming anybody or cheating anybody. So yeah, I'll either put the animals for sale with the proceeds. That worked really, really well last year, so that's probably the avenue, because if I just donate the animals, then I have no control over what they bring at the auction. So I'll probably try that first, and if I can't get any bites on that, I will donate, that whatever I feel is worth that kind of money to bring at the auction. But I think we'll try just posting them first on my Facebook. I've got Instagram and Facebook. I'm just better at Facebook. I know Instagram is a big thing for a lot of people, but I'm just better at Facebook. So that's probably the route that I'll take. And I'll try to link all that stuff. But I appreciate you guys coming by. I appreciate you watching this video, and hopefully we can get some money raised and get this information out there at the same time, and that would be fantastic. So thanks for stopping by, and have a good weekend.